Hey, what's up everybody? Tony with Lido Loca. Welcome back to the YouTube channel. Well, look, there is a right and a wrong way to get off the cruise ship. In today's video, I want to tell you a little story time about the wrong way to get off the cruise ship that I just witnessed on the Carnival Vista. And I also want to give you some tips, just some general tips for getting on and off the cruise ship, not only on embarkation and disembarkation day, but also at the cruise ports. How to get off the cruise ship, coming up. Thanks again for stopping by. If you're brand new here, if you enjoy cruising content, consider subscribing with the notification bell on. That way you don't miss out on any of our videos. So let's start with the story time. We just got off of the Carnival Vista just a few days ago, and I saw something during that disembarkation process that I had never seen before. So let me paint the picture for you. We stayed on the Carnival Vista almost as late as you could. I think there were only like 200 people out of thousands of people left on the cruise ship when we finally got off. And when you get off a cruise ship, you've got some options. You can go to where your luggage is. Actually, three options. You can carry your own luggage off. You can give your luggage to the cruise line the night before and go to a designated area to pick up your luggage. Or you can engage luggage assistance, which is the porter there at the cruise terminal. And the porter will come with a luggage cart, and they will go to where the luggage is stowed and they'll load up that luggage cart. And sometimes that can be a quicker way to get out of the cruise port. You always got to tip the porter, but for $5 or $10, it could be a quicker way to get out of the cruise terminal opposed to going and grabbing your luggage or carrying your luggage off and waiting in a long line to get out of the cruise terminal. We decided to do the luggage assistance. So once we had all of our luggage with the porter, we went to a special line where the porters could go to get us through U.S. Customs and Border Protection. And so it was a line probably 5, 6 deep with those big luggage carts and porters managing those luggage carts. And when we pulled into the line, we noticed that the very first person in the line wasn't moving, and the person behind them, they were pulling their luggage cart around and going around them, which seemed odd. You want the line just to move one at a time. And then, so the person that pulled around them, they went through customs and they were gone out of the cruise terminal. And then again, the person that was at the front of the line, they did not move. They waved the person behind them on, and so the porter grabbed the luggage cart. They went around the person. They went through border protection, customs, and they left the cruise terminal. This happened like 3 times. It finally came our turn, and we came up to the cart that hadn't moved, and they waved us around. And as we passed, we noticed that there was a lady laughing hysterically while going through her luggage. I don't know the full scenario, but it appears that she could not find her passport, and she was going through all these bags on the luggage cart, had them down on the ground. Now she was laughing. I'm assuming she was laughing out of being nervous or uncomfortable because she couldn't find her passport. But let me tell you, the customs official, he looked none too pleased. Now, fortunately for us, we went right through customs, and the way that we went right through customs is when we walked up to the customs official, we had our passports in hand. That's going to be the first thing that I tell you. The first big takeaway from this story is when you are leaving the cruise port, you have to have the proper documentation readily available to get out of the cruise terminal or to get off of the cruise ship. When it comes to actually leaving the cruise terminal after returning from a cruise, more than likely you're going to have to go through some sort of customs verification. Some of the places have a facial identification, a whole digital process now where you just look into a camera and they wave you on through. And then some terminals like the one there in Galveston, you actually have to go into a custom official and show them your identification. So if you're cruising with a passport, make sure when you walk up to the custom official to have that passport open to the photo page and present that to them, and you will get right through customs. They may ask you a question, but you want to make the process as smooth as possible. You don't want to have any reason for them to question you, and that starts with presenting your ID in a way that they can look at it quickly and move you along. So if you have a passport, have your passport open to your photo page, or if you're traveling with a birth certificate and a photo ID, make sure you have that birth certificate unfolded. Make sure you have that ID out so that you can easily hand it to the customs official and they can wave you on through. A cautionary tale: you do not want to be standing at the customs line, going through all your luggage, laughing nervously, trying to get home from your cruise. I'd never seen it before, and I'm sure it happens a lot. It goes back to an old cruise tip that we've talked about a lot. Whenever you need to do anything with your documentation, make sure that you have it in hand. Don't pack it away in your check bags. Know exactly where your identification is. So that's the big one, getting back through customs when you come back. But there are a few times on the cruise ship where you have to leave the cruise ship and return to the cruise ship. And I just want to give you a few tips on that. Most of the time when you leave the cruise ship, the only thing you need to get off the cruise ship is your ship card, or if there's a wearable like a medallion, you just need to have that medallion. And the way the process works when you leave the cruise ship is you approach the gangway. There is going to be a security official there. They're going to want to scan your wearable or scan your ship card and verify that you are the person that is leaving the cruise ship. Important to note, if you're somebody who likes to film or make memories on your vacation, security personnel should not be filmed. So when you approach to leave the cruise ship or to come back on the cruise ship, turn your camera off, put your camera down, focus on getting off the ship. It's important to pay attention to what is required to return to the cruise ship. There will be announcements. It'll often be in the daily newspaper. It will be posted when you leave the cruise ship what you need to get back on the cruise ship. And most of the time it will say a ship card and some sort of form of photo ID. Again, not every port requires the photo ID, but just as a habit for us, we usually take a photo ID off with us, either our passport or our driver's license, just in case we're asked to show photo ID along with our ship card to get back on board. So let me throw in another quick story time. One of the excursions that we went on this past cruise was cave tubing in Belize. Now this brings up another interesting question for what to do with your documentation, what to do with your ship card when you're out on an excursion. Now at the cave tubing area, they had lockers that you could rent. And so I rented a locker and I secured my ship card and my passport in that locker. And it's a good thing I didn't. The folks that ran the cave tubing told us a few horror stories of passports washing up on the shores of the river that runs through the cave. It's always dicey. Like, I don't like to not have my identification with me, but in a situation where I'm in an excursion where I'm going to be returning to the cruise ship with a tour company where it's all enclosed like it was when we went cave tubing, I feel pretty comfortable locking my identification up in a locker where I know it's secure and not risking it in water activities or walking around activities. But yeah, I just wanted to share that other quick story time that the folks at that excursion said that they'd claimed more than one passport that had washed up on shore for people that took their identification with them while cave tubing. So another thing you have to plan for when you go on excursions, especially ones that you might get wet, what are you going to do with your passport, with your ID? Just make sure that that stuff's secure, because you don't want to be out there having fun and lose your ID and not be able to get back on the cruise ship. And it's really that simple for getting on and off. You just want to make sure that you have the right documentation and you want to have it out and you want to have it available. Another tip that I want to give for getting back on the cruise ship is more than likely you will have to send your belongings through a metal detector, and there comes a time where they want you to empty out your pockets. One thing that I like to do is I like to go ahead and empty out all my pockets into the bag that I'm carrying, and I only go to the ship with my ship card or my ship card and my ID, depending on the requirement, and then I can quickly drop those in the bag, put them through the metal detector, and I don't hold up the line that way. Getting on and off the cruise ship can be some of the most stressful times of the cruise, but if you go at it with a little bit of a plan and you practice these techniques, it should go off without a hitch. Those are some tips for embarking and disembarking the cruise ship. If you found the video helpful, please hit the like button. What are some other things that you do to disembark and embark the cruise ship? What are some tips? Please share those in the comment below. Again, my name's Tony. I'm with Lido Loca, and until the next time, we'll see you on the Lido.